The Biden administration made a super exciting announcement. They're canceling $5.8 billion in student loan debt for students who were defrauded by Corinthian Colleges, okay? So it's a for-profit college that was sprinkled all across the country. They defrauded students, and during the Obama administration, there was evidence to show that they were defrauding students, and the Obama administration had agreed to forgive the loans for students who had been defrauded. Now, then came in Donald Trump with his education secretary, Betsy DeVos, who absolutely loved the for-profit colleges, couldn't get enough of them, they were her friends. She put a bunch of them in the education department, and they decided we're actually not gonna forgive those loans. And so now the Biden administration came in and said, we are gonna forgive those loans. And the Biden administration would like some credit for that. So I guess you kind of get a little bit of credit for piggybacking off of what the Obama administration tried to do, but kind of failed at doing because they just didn't do it in time, right? They didn't get it done in time before the Trump administration came into power. So I don't know, maybe I'm being super salty because I can't stand the ineffective nature of these feckless Democrats. I can't stand the fact that the federal government can unilaterally forgive all federal student loans. So I just, no, you know what? No cookies for you. No cookies, zero.
Yeah, so the thing that bothers me is when they pretend it's like some big deal.
Yeah.
No, you were supposed to do this literally 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So now that you're doing it 6 years too late, you want a pat on the back. And the headlines are like, you're forgiving student debt, oh my God. Wait, no, it's not a new thing. The headline should say, Biden finally does a thing he and Obama promised 6 years ago. Okay, I mean, I guess I give a smidge of credit and maybe a crumb of a cookie for you, but I don't like the BS marketing around it.
Yes.
And then on top of that, when you say, hey, are you actually gonna do the thing you promised on the campaign trail, which is forgiving $10,000 in student debt, that's a new program? Then that's when all their defenders, both in media and Democratic Party, come out and go, oh, you see, progressives aren't satisfied with anything. I mean, we gave you a couple of crumbs from a program 6 years too late, but now you're not even satisfied with that. Yeah, because it isn't what he promised. So look, guys, I'm practical.
How about this? How about we won't be satisfied until the federal government starts treating ordinary Americans as if they're oil companies?
Oh my God.
How about that?
That would be amazing.
Okay, they toss us crumbs, maybe if we're lucky, maybe. If we're lucky, okay? They'll help out the banks who defrauded Americans and led to the economic collapse in 2008 while they foreclose on the Americans who were defrauded. And then they tell us, oh, come on, you're not happy with us? You're not happy with, no, we're not happy with you. You guys suck. You don't even give us crumbs often, okay?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's just, it's pathetic. And the fact that the media is like cheerleading this story as if it's like, whoa, wow, look at this rebellious thing that the Biden administration is doing. Wow, they actually finished a job for once. Come on.
Yeah, and so like to be clear, there is one extra thing here. You had to do these laborious applications before under the Obama era. That's partly why they ran out of time, and a lot of people didn't even know about it, etc. Here, instead, they did the obvious thing. They're like, we're going to forgive the debts. Why are we making them go through all this pain? It's just a number on our spreadsheet because the government is the one giving the loans. Like it's just wiped out now.
It's automatic. So they saved the students who were defrauded a little bit of paperwork. So thank you for that.
Okay,
and appreciate it.
Right, but it's not a big thing to write home about. But to Anna's point, imagine if they treated us like the healthcare companies, because we just did a story earlier in today's show where they just unilaterally, Biden administration gave them an 8.5% increase in prices that they're charging us. For no reason other than the fact that they gave Biden $47 million in bribes during the 2020 election. So imagine if the average American got an 8.5% increase in their pay. Oh my God, that would be amazing. In fact, by the way, not every American, but if you were making minimum wage, you were gonna get a big raise if he did his promise of $15 minimum wage, but he didn't because he was lying. And by the way, he sent his top allies in the Senate to vote no on that bill to make sure that you knew that he was lying. Okay, and so finally, in terms of being practical, Elizabeth Warren theoretically, Chuck Schumer, I don't really believe it. And others are pushing for $50,000 of student debt forgiveness. I'm in that camp. I think that makes sense. I think wiping it all out makes sense. Of course, every pundit on TV is like, no! Like O'Leary from Shark Tank, this is un-American. I can't believe this.
But they do have a good point. Look, I don't want to be unfair to them. They do have a good point, right? Because there are millions of Americans who had to take out loans to go to college. They paid off their loans. They're not going to get to benefit from student loan forgiveness. And I think we should have that kind of mindset when it comes to everything. So if they do find a cure for cancer, we should deny people that cure because there are people who suffered from cancer and they died when the cure wasn't available. So we just gotta be fair, guys. We gotta be fair. We gotta make sure that everyone suffers and we never have any progress or improvement in life.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I'm glad that they never mentioned their bias, which is that they're literally every critic of it on TV, which is all of them are against it. They're all multimillionaires.
Yeah.
Pretending that they care about the average guy. They're like, oh, I'm worried that the taxpayer is gonna pay for it. I'm so worried about the average taxpayer. Wink. No, you're worried that your tax is gonna go up 0.04%, and that's gonna cost you $7 million because you're so stinking rich, right? That's what you're actually worried about, keep it real. But if Biden just does his actual promise on the campaign trail of 10,000 rather than the 50,000, I'll call it a win, right?
It's something.
Yeah, it's something. It'd be literally the one thing he promised where he delivered on, and he's thinking about doing it. That's why every pundit on TV is like, no, that will hurt rich people, how dare you?
But how? How would it hurt rich people? I wanna understand that.
Because, so there's a couple of reasons why they always worry that if anything goes to the average American, their taxes are gonna go up. So by definition, they hate anything that helps the average American. That, I'm telling you, every television anchor is against this program. You can go watch it.
So,
this is the one thing that Fox News and MSNBC agree on. They're like, do not help the average American.
They know, trust me, they know, especially on this issue because it's all they talk about whenever it comes to student loan debt. But I will say this one thing. First of all, rich people's taxes ain't gonna go up, okay? But the reason why they probably think that is because as a way to make up for lost revenue from cutting taxes on the rich, the federal government has relied more and more on the interest tied to the federal student loans.
So that's part of it.
Yeah.
But of course, it always comes back to the companies. So there's companies that service the loans.
That's right.
And they're having to cut jobs now. And maybe even cut executive pay? No, never, never, ever, right? But they can't, the executives didn't make enough millions of dollars or billions of dollars, so they're mad, right? Number two is, of course, the bankers are doing derivatives and swaps. They're gambling on those loans. And so if you relieve the student debt, it takes away their fun of being able to gamble on those.
Oof, the invisible hand of the market. It's so great.
Yeah, and so that's why all the, establishment against it. But if Biden actually does the real thing, I'll give him credit for that. I'll take a win wherever we can get it, but this ain't it. This is just BS marketing. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.